Oh, mate. What's going on, everyone? It's Bowles, and welcome back to another Manchester United match reaction. It's Manchester United 9, Southampton 0. What a result that was tonight. The perfect night. Oh, man, what a result. What a result. We've won, and it's big. I know there was a red card, but still, you've got to put 9 in the net, regardless. You've seen teams win with only having 10 men, and we've won 9-0. So let's get into the match reaction. If you are watching live, make sure you leave a like on video. Or watching on replay, leave a like anyway. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All support is very much appreciated on the channel. All social media links are in the description below, so make sure you go and follow all of them as well. So Manchester United 9, Southampton 0. Wow, that's... Ollie's equaled Sir Alex. Sir Alex got a 9-1 or 9-0 win, I think it was. And now Ollie has put, well, not him put 9 in the net, but the team's put 9 in the net, which is great. And it's a good confidence boost, especially after drawing with Arsenal 0-0 at home, losing to Sheffield at home, which we should have won. It stings a little bit we still lost against Sheffield, because if we'd beaten Sheffield, we'd drawn to Arsenal and we'd won against Southampton. Would have been great, but who cares about that? We're back on the saddle, back on the winning ways, which is good. We improve our goal difference, which is amazing as well. I think it was plus 10. Now it's plus 19, and I think Man City's is plus 24, which is great. So we do close the gap with them. I think ours goes above Liverpool. I think Liverpool's is 19 as well, so we go level with them. I know that your Leicester's is 12 and Chelsea's is 14, and you've got these teams that we've now surpassed with such a massive result. And it really does completely cancel out that Tottenham result, because obviously we suffered really bad, obviously, in terms of goal difference. We lost 6-1. So to get those 5 goals back and then get another 4 on top of that is fantastic. So very, very good. And there were so many good players tonight. It's funny because people are probably going to say, oh, you got a red card. You had a red card and then a second red card. You didn't have to do too much to win the game. But we've seen in the past, as I said at the very start, we've seen in the past that teams have still had a player sent off and they might have been 1-0 up, or it might have been newer, but then they've scrapped a 1-0 win, or they've won 2-1, or they've actually won the game a lot better. You've seen good teams win games with being down to 10 men. So just because a player gets sent off doesn't mean that you're completely cooked, right? But the fact then we responded quite quickly, and then we scored a couple of goals after that quickly, was obviously, once 2 goals had gone in, as a Man United supporter, you can't always obviously feel comfortable, because we have bottled a couple of chances, but once you go 2-0 up against 10 men, you do feel pretty confident that you are going to win the game. If you lose the game from there, it's horrible. So very, very happy to get the win. And as I said, so many players played their part. Obviously, David De Gea didn't have to do too much, not too many chances. Obviously, there was the one chance that Charms put in the net that was offside, a little bit harsh. He's probably like a millimetre offside, but hey, VAR's there. That's how you do it. So unfortunately, but for Southampton, it just wasn't a good night at all. Luke Shaw getting a couple of assists again. The good thing I was having for Luke Shaw getting those couple of assists was the fact that he should have had 4 or 5 assists in the last month or so, because the amount of crosses he's put in and the quality of the crosses as well. It's not just about the number of crosses, the quality of crosses he's put in has been amazing. And he got a couple of assists, which is great. That header by Cavani was brilliant. And I can't. It's funny enough because I can't actually remember the other assists because there's just so many goals. It's funny that I'm forgetting a lot of the goals because it's like we scored so many. We got 9, so can't remember all 9. But yeah, and then he got another. I can't remember exactly the other assist, but he got the other assist. But the pick of the bunch was a Cavani cross. That was great. Wan-Bissaka. That's right, Wan-Bissaka's goal when he scored. Which we don't see that. You don't see Shaw assisting Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, you certainly. If someone put money on that, Shaw assisting Wan-Bissaka or the other way around before the start of the game, not bad, good call. But there you go. So, but yeah, and then Wan-Bissaka got a couple of assists and a goal as well. So, for me, I'll already give it away now. It's going to be between one of those 2 fullbacks that will probably get man of the match, because 2 assists for one in half a game, a goal and 2 assists for another in 90 minutes. It's going to be quite close, I think, in terms of those 2. But Yeah, the two centre backs didn't have too much to do tonight. Obviously, as I said, when you go down to 10 men, obviously the other team aren't going to be as attacking. They're just going to want to try and hold on. But then when they went down, they tried to go they tried to get on the ball a bit more, but we did control the game from pretty much start to finish. Look, Fred was decent in the first half. A couple of stray passes. Again, we know that with Fred. And then he went to left back. We took Shaw off, which I think was Ollie had a great game today. Ollie was, everyone said at the start when you saw McTominay and Fred, Lindelof, Maguire, myself as well included, it was a bit like you're playing Southampton at home. That's quite defensive that you're going. You probably should be going a little bit more attacking. But the fact that obviously the red card changed it within the first couple of minutes, obviously then that sort of is null and void in terms of the line that you put out. You still expect to win regardless. But his substitution and man management today was spot on, perfect. He bringing off Rashford for Dan James was brilliant, and then the two subs at halftime, bringing off Luke Shaw and Cavani. Luke Shaw being one of our most important players and does have an injury in him, which is great to bring him off. And Cavani's obviously had an injury history in the past, so it's great to bring him off, give him a rest. He did his job, scored the goal. That's what you want as a striker. You score your goal and then bring him off, which is good. I was very happy with those two subs. And as I said, then the Rashford sub as well. So Rashford, Shaw, and Cavani, brilliant. You could have thought maybe possibly bring Bruno off maybe instead of one of the others, but I think the other three, I think, were important. I think that, as I said, Luke Shaw can have an injury in him. Cavani has got an injury history and he's a bit older. And Rashford, we don't know if he's still carrying injury or whatever because he hasn't been playing at such a high level that he has been the last few games, but obviously did play quite well today before he went off. Got a goal, got an assist as well or whatever. So, yeah, but brilliant game. McTominay, what a hit. That was a great hit that he got. What was it, the 8th goal or the 7th goal? I think it's the 7th or 8th goal. 7th, because Martial scored and then it was Dan James. Great hit. And I think McTominay played all right as well, getting forward a bit more. I didn't like at the start, the first few minutes, him and Fred were still staying quite back. And I'm like, McTominay does his best work when he's playing box to box, when he's being allowed to push forward and get into the opposition half and actually go at the defenders. He's a lot better than just playing as a CDM. He's not a CDM. He's a good box to box mid. He's more like when De Bruyne plays in like a double pivot next to like a Rodri or like a Fernandinho or something. McTominay is. I'm not saying McTominay is on the level of De Bruyne at all. De Bruyne is a lot better, trust me. But you don't have to trust me, just know. But what I'm trying to say is he's the more attacking player out of the pivot. He's the guy that's being able to push forward and hopefully create more. And I know he doesn't do it a lot, but when he does do it, he does do it good. And then he gets outside the box and he can hit a banger. He can actually hit a ball from outside the box and score a great goal. And he did that today, which is good to see. Bruno, I think, was great. Obviously, another good game to stat the pads, but I think he's brilliant anyway. Like people say he's a stat padder. He's like a Russell Westbrook in the NBA where he's just a stat padder, but I don't think he is. I don't think Russell Westbrook is anyway, to be honest. But I don't think Bruno's a step padder. I think he's brilliant. He's just a great player. He's the reason we are where we are, and he was a big influence today, and he played really well as well. What did he get? A goal and a couple of assists as well, I think. Obviously scored the penalty, got a couple of assists, which is great. I think Greenwood, again, played his role as well. I think he got a pair of assists as well. Martial got a couple of goals on the bench, which I'm so happy for Tony to come off the bench and score a couple of goals. He didn't look too happy when he got it. I don't know if that was sort of a bit more of relief to score the goals just to get back on the score sheet, or maybe if there is a little bit of something there, maybe he's not quite. He wouldn't obviously be 100% happy with what's going on at the moment, but maybe he's just not happy. I don't know, but I'd hope to think that that's a bit of just relief from everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks. Obviously, he's got a lot of criticism. Hasn't been the best form, but it was good today to see him get on the score sheet for a couple of goals. I think, as I said, Rashford got a goal and I think an assist. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, Cavani got his goal, which is great. Donny, also great to see Donny come on. Not as influential as what I would have liked to have seen, but certainly wasn't awful. Certainly didn't really give a ball away at all. He's always very, very good and safe with his passes, which is good. He always has very good ball security. And you can see the leadership he shows on the pitch as well, when he's on there, constantly talking to teammates, getting him to do like certain things and whatever in the game, which is good. And then Dan Jones, a bit quiet, but good to see him get a goal. Good to see him get a goal. I still don't think he's got a huge part to play in the future in terms of like being in the starting 11 for Man United, but you always want to see Man United players play well, regardless of who it is. And today, it was good to see Dan Jones get on the score sheet. So it literally would have been the only thing that you could even imagine possible to be better than tonight, to make it a 15 out of 10 or 100 out of 10 instead of being a 10 out of 10, is Donny getting on the score sheet and scoring 10. That's pretty much the only thing you could really say was the only thing missing. I would have loved to have seen Donny score or even get a Tony hat trick or something, but then you're probably saying 11, 12, 13 goals. But that's unrealistic. You're not really going to score that, I think. I don't know if a team has ever scored over 9. I'm pretty sure someone scored 10 or 11. I can't think off the top of my head, but I know that only 4 or 5 teams have ever scored over 9 goals or 9 or above. So we've certainly in that group now. And yes, I know it's got to do with the red card, and on the first red card was a terrible challenge, wasn't it? It was a red card. You can't argue with that. The second one, for me, it's soft, but apparently it's a rule change this year that's just come into place, or just come in mid-season or whatever. Is if you get fouled in the box and it's a penalty, if the player hasn't gone for the ball, it's a red card. But if the players try to get the ball, it's not a red. But the fact that Martial was strong goal, he just collected him. He didn't get the ball, or it didn't even look like getting the ball. But the fact that Martial was in on goal, he's about to have a shot. The thing is, if you give a penalty, it's got to be a red card. You can't give a penalty and just give me yellow, or don't give him anything. It has to be a red because he's in on goal. He's about to get a shot away. So you can say it's a harsh red card, but by the rules and that, it has to be a red. So unfortunately for Southampton, that's the thing that you probably feel sorry for is Bednarek's now going to be out for 3 games. So, hey, Triple AK on the house. Hey, how you doing, bro? Good game for you lots. Yeah, it's good to bounce back. Obviously, boring game against you guys, against Arsenal the other day. Would have been good to have got a result there or whatever, and you would have probably thought the same. But yeah, definitely good to bounce back. Obviously, we had that. Obviously, as I said before, the Spurs game was 6-1. So good to avenge that result in a way and make up for that result. But hope you're doing well, man. Hope all the FIFA stuff's going well. Been tuning into a video here and there. I haven't played FIFA for ages. I just haven't been able to get into it this year. But I love what you're doing with the FIFA stuff, man. And also, if you want to go follow Triple AK Ronnie, does amazing FIFA content, player reviews, pack openings, gameplay, foot champs, all sorts of stuff, live streams on YouTube, Twitch. So make sure you go and follow him on all those socials. He's great bloke and great FIFA player as well. So there you go. But just all around, just a great performance. And I don't think there was any player I really forgot to sort of just mention quietly, because it's just everyone played their part. So there you go. So Triple K right now. So appreciate my bro. Keep up the grind. Yeah. It is a grind getting up at not like 6, 7 in the morning and doing the match reactions. But as you said, got to do the grind, man. And usually I go straight through and don't get any sleep, but I got a couple of hours sleep, so I feel a little bit better than that. But anyway, let's get into player ratings. So if you're watching live, make sure you leave your player ratings in the live chat, or if you're watching on replay, leave them in the comment section below. I'll get to them and reply to them when I can, or just leave any comments or opinions on the game, or just questions or whatever you have. Just leave them in the live chat or the comment section below. But let's start with David De Gea. 6, pretty easy, stock standard. He made the one save from the Ward-Prowse free kick in the first half. Besides that, didn't really have anything to do. The Che-Um's goal, sort of, people got in his way, couldn't really save it. It wasn't a goal anyway, it was offside. But the one chance Southampton had, he couldn't save it. But I don't really think that was fully down to him. He was furious at the defence for letting it through. So 6, because he didn't have anything doing it. It's a good 6. It's not a bad 6. It's just a good 6. But yeah, and what I'll do the quick 2 centre-backs first. I think both centre-backs get 6s as well. I think they, again, very similar to De Gea, didn't have anything really to do. You could say set. Oh, actually, Nah, no, because the better players will get 8s and that. So 6, yeah, 6 for centre backs. They didn't really have anything to do, and it's a good 6. I'm certainly not giving a 6 for complaint. Like when we drew with Arsenal, there's a few 6s and that in there, and it's like because they didn't have a great game. Today was because they didn't have anything to do. That's the reason they get 6s, I think. So there you go. Start off with Luke Shaw. Anyone that doubts Luke Shaw at this point, you're wrong. It's as simple as that. You're wrong because I've said on if you've been watching my reviews for a while or pretty much all season, I've said Luke Shaw is one of, if not the best defensive fullback in the world. Defensive fullback. That's the key word here. Defensive fullback. Because yes, you've got argument for Robertson, Alphonso Davies, and guys like that are better, right? And even like a guy like Kieran Tierney for Arsenal's really, really good as well. So you can make arguments for all those guys, but no one is better defensively than Luke Shaw, period, right? And he's also getting assists and getting forward and putting in good crosses as well. So what's that doing? That's putting him in the top 5 fullbacks in the world, and that sort of conversation. I'm not saying he's in there yet. I would put him in there because I love Luke Shaw and I think he's brilliant, but for any neutrals in that following and looking at Luke Shaw, I think he's got to be in the top 5 or 6 left backs at least, like 100%. Top 3 left back on terms of form and everything at the moment. And I think top 5 fullbacks because you can't really name a lot of them. I'm not going to name them now. You've got like Trent, well, it's I'm not going to name, but you've got like Trent, Robertson, TAA, specifically just in the Premier League, obviously. Hang on. So Trent, I just said Trent, TAA, and Robertson. That's the same. It's 2 players. TAA and Robertson is the 2, and then you've got Shaw, and then you've got like Alphonso Davies and guys like that outside the Premier League. But he's certainly up there and had a brilliant game. 2 assists. That cross, as I said, for Cavani was brilliant. Absolutely amazing cross. And as I love his overlapping now. As I said, his attacking prowess is coming back. So of his days at Southampton, early doors of Man United, it's coming back, and he's getting forward, bombing forward, overlapping Rashford and if Martial plays out there, and overlapping Bruno, Cavani, all those guys. So it's brilliant to see. I love it. It's great. So yeah, Luke Shaw, I think it's an 8. I think it's an 8 for me. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And Wan-Bissaka, what a game by Wan-Bissaka, man. 2 assists and a goal. Just brilliant. Played really, really well. I remember one tackle he made when a Southampton goal was showing goal. I don't even know who it was. And he won the ball. And I'm like, wow, what a tackle. And the goal he took was great. Back post. As I said, you wouldn't have expected Luke Shaw to be assisting Wan-Bissaka today, but there you go. The 2 assists as well that he got, couple good cross. He could have had a 3rd assist as well with Cavani having a chance that he mishit and didn't quite put in, but I'm not complaining about that. We put another 9 chances away. So on another day that might have been an issue, but today it certainly wasn't. So you could have had a goal and 3 assists. And as a right back, that's nearly a perfect game. And no one beat him, didn't make a mistake. So I think it's a 9. And I think obviously that pretty much settles who my man of the match is. And the reason for that is the only reason that I probably give Luke Shaw an 8 and Wan-Bissaka a 9 is because he played the whole game. Wan-Bissaka played 90 minutes. He scored a goal, 2 assists, and played perfect. Whereas, not perfect, because obviously a 10 is reserved for guys with the hat tricks. But I tell you what, he's nearing on a 10. It's probably a high 9 and getting close to a 10. So certainly, if someone gave Wan-Bissaka a 10 today, you couldn't fault it. 2 assists and a goal from right back and a clean sheet in a 9-0 win. But yeah, I'll give him a 9 and my man the match as well. And as I said, Luke Shaw probably would have got close to a 9 as well. It's certainly a very high 8 because he probably got a 9 for the half, but because he only played a half, you're probably reserving the 9 for a guy that played a whole game. So an 8 for Luke Shaw and then a 9 for Wan-Bissaka. So move on to midfield. McTominay got a goal, brilliantly taken. Again, him and Fred didn't really have too much defensive work to do. Going forward again, they obviously don't play too many passes forward. McTominay played a couple of good switching of the play balls over the across the field, which Pogba obviously does amazing. By the way, it was great to see Pogba stay on the bench and I'm saying that in a good way, because if you're resting him on the bench, what's the need to bring him on at 4-0? And again, another amazing thing by Ollie there as well to keep Pogba and rest him, which is good. So put him for the next game. As I said, resting the other 3 subs as well, which I'll talk about a bit later when I get to Ollie's rating. But yeah, so McTominay probably gets I'll probably say 7 because with the goal and not having too much defensive things to do, wasn't relied heavily upon, and as I said, didn't have a lot to do. So probably a 7 because of the goal, so upgrade him a bit. And Fred, probably give him, again, I'd probably say 6 because he didn't have a lot of defensive stuff to do, a couple of like wayward passes here and there. Obviously went out to left back, so almost a little bit of not of his fault. Probably could have got a 7 if he played midfield the whole game, maybe. But the fact that he sort of got switched out left back, he wasn't obviously amazing at left back, but to give Luke Shaw rest as well, not really any point. Like you could say you could have brought on Telles, but I think it was good to get those. It was the reason I'm not unhappy with bringing Telles on was because it was really, really important with us winning by a decent margin at halftime, 4-0. I said say again, 4-0 at halftime, 9-0 at full time. Was Dan James, Andy Martial, Donny van der Beek. Was good to get them all on the pitch for minimum half an hour. Obviously, Dan James got about half an hour. The other 2 got half game, 45 minutes. And it was, yeah, Martial and Donny especially were the 2 that needed playing time, and Anthony Martial needed to get his confidence to get a couple of goals, which he did. Donny just need to get some minutes because obviously we've seen he hasn't really gotten a fair crack this season. But it was good to see him get half a game. And as I said, didn't really do too much wrong. But yeah, I'll get to obviously those guys more in a sec. But I just thought I'd quickly mention that with the subs. But yeah, so as I said, Fred 6. Yeah, that's right, because I was talking about Taylor. So just a bit of a tangent there, but there you go. That's sometimes what you get. Greenwood got a couple of assists. Probably have to give him a 7 as well. I think you can't give him an average 6. He got a couple of assists. Obviously wasn't up the levels with like your Shaws and stuff like that. Obviously wasn't as influential as some of the other players on the pitch. But as I said, it was good to see, because we've always said about Greenwood going forward, he's selfish, which is good because he's a striker. He's a striker playing out wide, and you want him to be selfish. You want, and not always selfish. Like you still want to be like they have a selfish intent is probably the best way to put it. Have a selfish intent going forward because that's what the best strikers have got. When they've got the ball in front of the goal, they can have a shot and try and get in the back of the net. And Greenwood does that. But when you're playing out wide, obviously you have to be thinking more of it in a team-orientated way. You've got to be thinking more of whipping a cross in and that. And he did that today. He whipped in a couple of good crosses. There was obviously a couple other times when he probably could have whipped a cross in but had a shot. But when you win, obviously 9-0, you're not going to focus on much negatives. You're going to focus more on positives. And the fact that he whips some crosses in, obviously that good cutback for Rashford for his goal. And what was the last assist that he got? Was it for the Dan James one? Did he assist Dan James? I think he might have. I think he got the assist for Dan James. No, Bruno got assist for Dan James. Oh no, did he only get the one? So Rashford got the assist. So Shaw got the first assist, Greenwood second, Rashford the third, Shaw the fourth, Bruno the fifth. 71st minute with the McTominay chance. Was that Greenwood? Oh, yeah, it was Greenwood. He won't go down as this, but he was the one that had the shot. It came out and was obviously put in by McTominay hitting outside the box. Obviously, Martial won the penalty. Martial's gone 90th minute. Was that Bruno as well? Wan-Bissaka's. Oh no, Wan-Bissaka. Sorry, that's right, because he got the 2 assists. Yeah. So Greenwood only got the 1 assist. Sorry. And hang on, I thought that Wan-Bissaka goal assist. Why do I think that Wan-Bissaka got 2 assists? I don't know. So sorry, he only got 1 assist. Yeah, so Shaw got 2 assists. Wan-Bissaka got a goal and assist. So I think I'll still give Wan-Bissaka a 9. I think you still get a 9 from. He played 90 minutes, got a clean sheet, got a goal and an assist. But then again, you could say as well that could be down to. No, I'll keep it a 9. I've said 9, regardless if I thought it was 2 assists or not. Still for me gets that. So Rashford got an assist there. So Rashford got the assist for that one, which I thought he did. So who was up to? So Greenwood gets 7, I think, with assists. I think he still had good moments in the game anyway, and he certainly wasn't as quiet as some, as I said, the Sixers, because it's a 9-0, I think almost every player that had a role to play gets a 7, except for, obviously, as I said, Fred, the 2 centre-backs and the goalkeeper, because they didn't have too much to do. So there you go. So Viniat Goel, hello. Hey, mate, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I hope you're an United supporter, and it's a good night for us, that's for sure. But if you're not, that's fine. I appreciate you tuning into the content as well. So then we go to Bruno. So Bruno, a goal. And I'm looking at this because I want to make sure I get this right. So he got a goal and 2 assists again. I think you got to give him an 8. I think he played well. I think he still had an influence going forward. I think he was one of our sort of best 3 or 4. So Vignette Goa. So by God, to sleep now, mate. I hear. I'll be certainly going to bed at some point, get another few hours after. So appreciate you just tuning in the content, man. And if you want to leave a like on the video and subscribe channel, if you haven't, then feel free to do that. But appreciate it anyway. So there you go. So Bruno got 2 goal and 2 assists again. Brilliant play, brilliant. And as I said, he's the reason we are where we are. I'm going to keep saying that because he is. When we signed him, we'd seen. I don't know if we still are, because obviously we had a couple of results. We got the draw and the loss, but since he's come in, we're certainly in the top 2 in terms of points. Well, we were top in terms of calendar year last year, from January 2020 to January 2021. Or if you want to be specific, January the 1st, 2020 to January the 1st, 2021. Bruno, brilliant. So, and we move on to Cavani, and probably give him a 7 as well. As I said, only played the half, but put a chance away. Brilliant header into the sort of the top left sort of ish corner. Certainly wasn't going to be saved. Brilliant, as I said, brilliant. Could have probably had a second goal if you're going to be nitpicking at little things here, but I'm certainly not going to be. That's not take away for his rating. 7, I think, is good. If he played more of the game, he could maybe scored another one. He probably could have got an 8 or whatever. But the fact that he played a half, and I'm very happy, and he played a half, because it's good. Because as I said, he has had an injury history in the past. It's good to get him rested and up for into the next game, which is great. Who have we got now? Marcus Rashford. I think 7 as well. Goal and assist. The cross for the own goal anyway was brilliant, because if Bednarek didn't get a foot on that, what a day for Bednarek as well. Red card and an own goal. Jeez, not great day. As I said, the red card was you could say, as I said, a little bit harsh, but still a red anyway, regardless if following the rules. But I went over that already. Brilliant cross, because if he didn't touch it, Fred was at the back post for a tap in, and he couldn't have missed it, because it was the easiest tap in ever. So brilliant cross. It had pace on it, good whip on it. And that's what I want to see from Marcus when he's playing out wide. So it's good. So it's good to see him get the confidence up. Obviously, the goal that he scored as well from the cutback from Greenwood, well taken, brilliant finish, and very similar to Tony. Good confidence builder for him. But so Rashford 7. I think good game from him as well. But I think your top 3 were. I think your top 3 were still. Top 4 would have been sort of like your Tonys, and because Tony came on for half and scored a couple of goals. Bruno and the 2 fullbacks, I think, your top sort of 3 or 4, or 4 players I said there. Subs. So Donny, you probably give him a 6. Probably didn't have a big influence coming on, but he still didn't look terrible by any means. I can't really give him. I can't really justify too much a 7, because he didn't have too much of an impact when he came on, as I said, and didn't get obviously a goal assist. If it would have, as I said, would have loved to have seen him get a goal. But the more important thing for that is he got minutes. He got on the pitch. Great decision by to bring him on. You had to bring him on. If you didn't bring him on, it would have been absolutely criminal not to bring him on. And it would have been terrible if he didn't. Be good to see him come on, play 45. Again, as I said, his ball security is always great, but just didn't have a big of impact. But then again, you could sort of say maybe wasn't taking it too hard, trying too hard because we're already so far up, far in front in terms of the scoreline. So we're 4-0 up when he came on. So other subs, Tony, you got a couple of goals. Another couple of chances here and there. You probably say give him an. Would you give him an 8? He got 2 goals and a half. Shaw got 2 assists. Played brilliant. I think. I'll probably give him a 7 because I think if I'm giving Luke Shaw an 8. But then wait, But then I gave Cavani a 7. It's literally a 7.5 for Tony. I'd probably say 7.5 is probably the best. So, as I say, Cavani, if you give him a 7, you probably have to say Martial an 8 probably because he got a couple of goals and he had another 2 or 3 chances to score as well. So probably an 8. But then Bruno got a goal and 2 assists and played great. I think I'll stick to a 7 because Cavani was quite involved in a lot of the things going forward. Whereas Tony wasn't hugely involved in terms of all the build-up play in goals and stuff, but he had a couple of chances. Oh no! Give him an 8. Give him an 8. It's a positive night. It's 9-0. He scored 2 goals and a half. Good confidence build. I'll give him an 8. Probably a bit high. You could give him a 7. I'm literally saying 7 or 8. It's like a pick 'em. Like take your pick. It's a 7.5. But if you want to round up to an 8, I'll go with that. So I'll give him an 8. I think 2 goals and a half is very good. But then again, you could say as well that the game was over, and they were down to. And the thing is, Tony got an assist as well. So yeah, I'll definitely to an 8 then. 2 goals and assist. He did win the penalty, so yeah, I will go for an 8, 100% an 8. It's definitely an 8 for Martial. Yeah, so an 8 for Tony. And then Dan James. I think he was quiet. I probably would have given him. Unfortunately, I probably would have given him 5 because he didn't really do too much. But probably give him a 6. Got it. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't have given him a 5. I wouldn't have given anyone a 5 today. But he got his goal. Obviously, at the very end, the game was over. But got his goal, which is very good. Good confidence for the young lad. And I would love to be sort of not proved wrong because anything is possible, especially in the world we live in at the moment. And it's been such a crazy Premier League season, as we've seen. Anything's possible. Liverpool, like losing to Villa, like what was it, 7-2 or whatever, or and then they go, or 8-2 or whatever it was, and they go and win 7-2, and then they go and win 7-0 against Palace, and then we lose 6-1 to Tottenham, but then we beat Southampton 9-0. And then like Southampton beat Liverpool 1-0. It's like, and like so many crazy results, and in such a crazy year, and a crazy world we live in. I'd love to see Dan James turn into a world beater. I really would. I want to see all of our squad turn into world beaters. So whenever I say that he might not be Man United quality or whatever, that's me just going on opinion based on what I've seen. But I'd love to, but when I say I'd love for him to I'd love anyone to prove me wrong. If Dan Jones can just somehow work on his decision making, and his final quality of ball, he's got the pace there. Which obviously you can teach this stuff. It would take time, but does that mean he's ever going to be Man United quality? I hope so, but we'll see anyway. Only time will tell. But he got his goal, but he was quiet besides that, but got the goal. So give him a 6. And then Ollie. You got to go 9. A 9-0 win Ollie gets a 9 as well. I think. I think that the only thing you could even deduct points, I think, from Ollie today was the fact that he played. He had a bit more of a defensive-minded 11 with Lindelof, Maguire, Fred, and McTominay. When we are, the noise was my bed creaking, dogs on the bed moving. So don't worry about that. What was I going to say? I was on track. I just lost my train of thought. That's right. Yeah. So, like as I said, more of a defensive-minded lineup, but his man management was spot on, perfect today, bringing off Rashford, Shaw, and Cavani. As I said, Shaw's had an injury history in the past. Cavani's had a long injury history, and he's a bit older as well. And Rashford, as I said, we don't know if he's had an injury sort of clad over him. But regardless, he's an important player for us, and it was good to bring him on anyway. Bring him off and give him a rest. And as I said, brilliant decision to leave Pogba off as well. Just give him a complete rest, because obviously games every 3 days or so. It's good man management. And Pogba will now be fit for our next game against Everton. Big game against Everton. We need to win that, because if we can, I'll talk about that in a sec actually, if we can win that. But yeah, so Ollie gets a 9 as well, as I said. And then bring Donny on as well, giving Donny a chance as well, bringing Dan James on, bringing Martial on to build his confidence and get that back up again. And then, as I said, could have brought Telles on, but it was good to get the more attacking-minded players up. And you can put Fred to left back, because we were winning 4-0. You don't need to worry too much about not too much about whatever, but too much about putting Fred to left back. It's not going to matter a great deal. So, brilliant day for Ollie, and gets a 9 for the 9-0. And he's certainly in the top sort of 3 or 4 for man of the match if you want to give man of the match to a manager. But no, you can't give man of the match to a manager. I think you always give the man of the match to a player. And yeah, but we go again in another few days. I think on the weekend coming up, we've got Everton against the Toffees. Big game. Best mate's dad goes for Everton, so big game for that. Need to win that game, because if we can win that game, we have Newcastle and West Brom on the horizon. Obviously, West Brom will be away. Newcastle will be at home, I want to say. Or do we play them away? Can't remember. I'm very certain that we play Newcastle at home. So Aziz Al Najjar, I hope I got that correct. I apologise if I didn't. Who's your man of the match? Man of the match for me, Wan-Bissaka. I think Luke Shaw's close. I think Bruno also had a very good game. And Tony as well with 2 goals and assist. But I think Wan-Bissaka played the full 90, got a goal and assist. I said 2 assists for the majority of the video, but he did get a goal and assist. Clean sheet, very good game. You could have said an 8 as well, but I think I always do like putting my man of the match having an extra rating if there's a man of the match. But if it's like 2 that are so close and they play 90, if Luke Shaw played 90, I would have probably also given him a 9, because I think he would have played really well in the second half. I think Luke Shaw was amazing, but the fact I think he just didn't play 90 minutes was just. But I'm glad that he didn't play 90 minutes to rest him and keep him from getting injured, because as I said, he has had some injuries in the past. Wan-Bissaka for me. But if you do want to check the other play ratings out, if you've only just tuned in, make sure you go back and watch me go through all them. And yeah, so that'll be. But I appreciate you tuning into the content, Aziz. That's very much appreciated, as I said. But yeah, so Man United on the horizon. So as I said, we've got Everton at home next. So the good thing is we've said our home form hasn't been great, but we've now been able to get a big win at home. As I said, avenge that Tottenham loss early in the season. And 9-0 is, as I said, brilliant, and gets our goal difference right back up again. So Everton at home, we've got, and that's on the 7th. So, 6th in the UK and the US, but 7th here. So 4 days away. So yeah, big game, that one. Then we've got West Ham, the FA Cup, 3 days after that. Then another 5 days after that, we've got West Brom away. Then the Europa League starts 4 days later. Then we got Newcastle at home in the Premier League. Then we've got Real Sociedad again. So we've got the Europa League on the horizon. So that's coming as well. So Aziz says, keep up the great work. I really appreciate the kind words, man. Appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed as well, make sure you do, and leave a like on the video as well. And anyone else that's watching, like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. A couple of seconds to do. It's easy. It's free. Helps me out a lot, and I just appreciate all the support everyone shows on the channel as well. This has been our longest match review that we've done, and I think it's needed because it's such a great result, and there was a bit to dissect. But yeah, so we got some big games coming up. As I said, if we can beat Everton, I would fancy our chance. I know we lost to Sheffield, but I would fancy our chances to beat West Brom away and then Newcastle home. But we should if we are in a title picture. I don't think we're going to win the title. I think it's still Man City's to lose, and I think Liverpool is still probably going to get second. But if we want to stay in the conversation, we need to pick up maximum points here again. If we not maximum points against Everton, because Everton is another game like an Arsenal, a Man City, a Liverpool. It's not obviously like a Man City, Liverpool, but it's in that conversation of it can go either way. And Everton have been a bogey side for sort of the last decade or so. We've had some sort of mixed results against them. But if we can pick 3 points up against them, 3 points against Southampton, which I thought today was going to be a tight game and going to be a close game. Everton, and then you've got Newcastle, West Brom, or West Brom, Newcastle. Then I think that we could pick up 12 points from that, and it sort of makes up a bit for the Sheffield United loss. So, and then the Arsenal draw doesn't look too bad, but it would have been good to have picked up that anyway. So Aziz Anaja says top 5 prediction. Top 5 prediction. I'd probably say, I'm going to say in order. I think Man City finish top. I think that they'll not run away with it, but I think that they'll still get it. I think it's between us and Liverpool for second. I would still just favour Liverpool to get second because we played one game more. We're 4 points up, so if they win that game in hand, they're only a point behind. But they do play Man City in their next game, so it's going to be, and it could be big if Man City, like if I'm watching that game, I want Liverpool to win because if Man City lose that game, and I know as a Man United supporter, it's weird saying we want Liverpool to win, or a draw would probably even be better actually. But Man City draw or lose, they're only a point above us, and they've got a game in hand. It could only be 3 or 4 points they're up, so it brings back 2 points. If we beat Everton then as well, I think Man City got another tough game as well actually soon as well. So yeah, they've also got Burnley away. That's a potential banana skin, as they always say. Burnley, you're always very tough away from home. Then Liverpool. So Burnley, then Liverpool. Then they've got Tottenham and Arsenal. Tottenham's at home and then Arsenal's away. So they've got, and then we played them on the 7th of March. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of their next 6 games, I'd probably say 5 of them are not easy. Burnley away is not easy. Liverpool's not obviously Anfield's not easy at all. You'd favour Liverpool to get the points there because it is at Anfield, and they don't lose at Anfield except for Burnley. Tottenham home, Arsenal away from home. Emirates is always a very tough trip. West Ham at home, you'd expect them to get the win there, but West Ham can always play quite well on their day. Then they got us, and if we want to be able to stay in this race, we need to get that win. So, especially against Man City, because that can be a 6-point turnaround, 6-point game. Sorry, but yeah. So, to answer your question, Aziz, I'd say that Man City won. I still think Liverpool will somehow find themselves second. This is just me being non-biased, by the way. If I'm as a Man United supporter, I would like to think we'll finish second from here, because we've got ourselves in a good position. But as we know, we're capable of having a bad result or two in us. I think Liverpool, Man City first, Liverpool second, Man United third, and I think you would have probably said Tottenham for fourth, but Tottenham have had some weird results. But you got Leicester's there, Everton's up there around. Aston Villa have had a good season, and if they win their games, then they're right up there. At the moment, you'd probably favour Leicester because Leicester are 5 points clear of Tottenham. Sorry, 6 points clear of Tottenham, but they've had an extra game, so it could be 3 points clear. And as I said, West Ham are up there as well. It's like again, I didn't even realise how high West Ham were on the table. 35 points. You never know. They play Man City, so they might take points off. We can only hope as Man United supporters anyway. But I think Leicester will just finish 4, and then I think 5th will be Tottenham or Chelsea, obviously. But then you could say Everton as well. Like I think 5th could be. I think 5th is West Ham, Tottenham, Chelsea, Everton, Aston Villa, and then even you could say Arsenal. A little bit of an outside chance that they can get some good results. Obviously, bad result the other yesterday with the 2 red cards, but I think 5th's a quite open race. But I think the top 3 should be Man City, Liverpool, Man United, and hopefully Man United can get a second or even win the league. But I don't think they will. I don't think they'll win the league. They could get second though. But hopefully Champions League football. But there you go. That's it for match reaction. Longest one, and I'm very happy. Appreciate everyone that tuned in live and watching on playback, and thank you for all the people that interact in the live chat, and then people that put your comments in. Always very much appreciated. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe channel if you haven't already. As I said, takes 2 seconds to do. Very easy, free to do. Appreciate all the support that anyone shows on the channel. Slowly growing, getting there. And got some other different content coming as well. Not just me and Ivory's got some other things cooking up in the works, as I like to say, but no, just other videos I'll be making. So some people know, close to me will know who they are, but not who know who they are, will know what they are, like the videos are. But yeah, so excited to bring them to you. And we'll be back for the next Man United match reaction, which will be the Everton game. So really keen to get another 3 points there. So thank you very much for everyone that watched and supports channel, and all social media links in the description below as well. So there, and turn notifications on so you just want to go live for the next match reaction. So I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Cheers.